Hello friends, myself Dr. Ramakant Kaushik. In these series of lectures, I will discuss some basics of chemistry. I am teaching chemistry since last 38 years. From my experience in chemistry, I will try to explain some very basics in chemistry. Chemistry is a science of matter and energy. And before discussing matter and energy, let me define science very briefly. Science is a systematic and simplified knowledge of facts and figures. And all these three S of science can be shown in the form of a triangle. S, S, S and S. Science, let me repeat, means systematic and simplified knowledge of facts and figures. And as I told you, when we talk about chemistry, we discuss matter and energy, and both in many cases. And according to Einstein, mass and energy is the same thing. So let's start with the primary topic, that is matter, जिसे हम हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं, पदार्थ. So when we discuss anything, first of all we try to define it. Define means to identify some permanent characteristics or behaviors which may or may not change with time. In case of matter, there are two very fundamental behaviors of it. First, any matter has weight. मैटर चाहे कोई भी हो, उसका अपना कुछ ना कुछ वजन होता है. Second very important feature of the matter is it occupies some space, which is known as its volume. So matter means anything which has weight and occupies space. Then, in order to make the study simple, we start from broader concept to the narrower concept. हम क्या बड़ी चीज से छोटी चीज की ओर मूव करते हैं. We go on dividing the facts till we reach the most simplest fact of any topic. So basically, in chemistry, matter is of two types. Say, physically, it is of three types: solid, liquid and gas. Or we can say, according to physical classification or outside appearance of matter, matter has three types: solid, liquid and gas. So it is another subject, but first we will discuss the chemistry, or we can say the chemical behavior of matter. Chemical behavior means its internal geometry, internal structure, as well as the chemical properties. So depending on the chemical behavior of matter, or according to chemical classification, matter is of three types: elements, compounds, and mixtures. So what is element? Element may be defined as the purest form of matter, and any element is made up of one type of atoms. तो किसी भी मैटर को हम एलिमेंट कहते हैं यदि वो दो शर्तों को पूरा करता है। पहली शर्त क्या है? पहली कंडीशन है कि इट इज द प्योरेस्ट फॉर्म। नंबर टू, इट मस्ट कंटेन सिमिलर एटम्स, and then question arises, what is atom? And atom is the smallest particle of any element which has its properties. Now what is the meaning? Now if we divide an atom, we get simple particles like electron, proton and neutron. These particles have their own properties. They don't possess property of any element. Atom is the smallest particle. Let's say in case of hydrogen, I have shown sample of hydrogen gas here. And we are showing that this sample of hydrogen is made up of identical particles. And these identical particles are the molecules of hydrogen gas. And we also that one molecule of hydrogen gas is made up of its two atoms. Similarly, the second example or second element we are considering is carbon, and I have shown the identical atoms of carbon. The carbon element is very important element. Diamond and graphite are the two very important forms of carbon element about which we know very well. And both these forms of carbon are made up of only one type of atoms which are of carbon element. Then third example of element is oxygen. And again, it is a sample of oxygen. I have shown some molecules of oxygen. Again, one molecule of oxygen is made up of two atoms of oxygen. If we say that this is one atom, it means again oxygen is made up of similar type of particles. So let me repeat. So atom is the smallest particle of an element which possesses the properties of that element. Atoms of two different elements differ in their chemical and physical behaviors. इसका मतलब क्या है कि अगर हम दो डिफरेंट एलिमेंट्स के दो एटम्स लेते हैं तो वो दोनों एटम हर तरह से भिन्न होते हैं. उनका शेप, साइज, कलर और केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज डिफरेंट होती है. एटम के बारे में थोड़ा विस्तार से बताने की कोशिश करेंगे। ओके। और एटम के बारे में मॉडर्न साइंस की अगर बात करें, जो आधुनिक विज्ञान है उसकी अगर बात करें, तो डाल्टन ने सबसे पहले एटम के बारे में बात की थी इन हिज फेमस डाल्टन्स एटॉमिक थ्योरी। So in that theory, Dalton said that every matter or different matter are made up of different particles which are very, very small in nature, and these particles or elementary particles, they take part in chemical reactions, and all the particles of an element are identical, but particles of two different elements or atoms of two different elements are different according to Dalton's atomic theory. But as science progressed, different scientists study about the atom and its structure. The main contribution in the structure of an atom was given by Rutherford. According to Rutherford, an atom has two parts, and this two parts theory of structure of atom is still valid. I have taken the example of carbon atom. So in this picture, this is the picture of carbon atom. Okay. The central mass, or this solid circle shows the central mass of the atom, and this central mass is known as nucleus. Nucleus is the aggregation of all the particles which are there in an atom barring electrons. But from chemistry point of view, in the nucleus there are two important particles, proton and neutron. There are two important particles, proton and neutron. So in any atom, its central part, named as nucleus, contains almost its total weight in the form of neutron, proton and some other particles. Second part is the extra space or extra nuclear space. न्यूक्लियस के इर्द गिर्द क्या कुछ वॉल्यूम, कुछ जगह जिसमें एटम के अंदर पाए जाने वाले इलेक्ट्रॉन्स न्यूक्लियस के चारों कक्षाओं में घूमते हैं. द सेकंड पार्ट इज द एक्स्ट्रा न्यूक्लियर स्पेस इन विच इलेक्ट्रॉन्स revolve around the nucleus in the atom in paths, or we can say that electrons are divided in layers around the nucleus. In first layer there are 2 electrons, in second layer there can be 8 electrons, and these electrons are arranged around the nucleus in such a manner, in such a fashion, so that they can revolve around nucleus easily. Number 1. Number 2, they don't collide with each other. Number 3, they remain at maximum distance from each other, so that repulsion is least, energy is least, and atom has maximum stability. And from our experience of science, we know that atoms are highly stable. Stability of atoms prove that there is maximum attraction between the particles and least repulsion between the particles. These two things make the atom stable. Then let's see some more definitions or more numbers which can define an atom or which can tell something about atoms. One such number is atomic number. It is number given to an atom just like roll number in the class. But in science we do everything according to some logic. If logic exists, but here the logic is found. Atomic number is equal to number of unit positive charges present in the nucleus of an atom. Practically it is found that one proton carries 1 unit positive charge. It means the number of unit positive charges is equal to number of protons. So atomic number can also be defined as the number of protons which are there in an atom. An atom contains same number of electrons, and Z can also be equal to the number of electrons, or atomic number is equal to number of electrons which are there in an atom. It is simply a number having value from 1 to 118. There can be more elements and more atoms if we found later on, but till date we know about 118 elements. So atomic number has value from 1 to 118, which is equal to the number of different elements about which we know. The next number is mass number. So mass number we define as the sum of number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom, and mass number A is always a whole number. Okay. And its value varies from atom to atom, because two or more different atoms of different elements differ because of difference in number of protons and neutrons in their nuclei. The most important thing about atom is its atomic mass or atomic weight. Because if we want to know more about atom, we must know its weight. And weight of an atom, if taken in gram, is very, very small. Till today we don't have any machine which can weigh the atom of an element, because if we consider the smallest and the simplest atom of hydrogen, its atomic weight in gram is 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. You see the number, and exponential factor is minus 24, 10 to the power minus 24. If you see the numerical value of this number, it is very, very small. But if we write this number on page by using decimal system, what happens? The number is written as 0.000000116 and there are 22 zeros in between. Means, how many figures are there? 25 digits after decimal, 26 and this 0, 27. So we are writing 27 digits. Okay. Or after decimal what we have? 25 digits. Means the numerical value is very small, but when we write the number, it becomes a huge number in this fashion, in decimal system. Similarly, when we consider atomic weights of atoms of other elements, इसी तरह से यदि हम जितने भी हमारे पास अलग अलग 118 एटम्स हैं उनके एटॉमिक वेट्स की बात करें तो सभी का वेट इसी तरह से आएगा. If we consider this number as x, atomic weight of all the atoms can be written x into 10 to the power minus 24 gram, where x is a number ranging from 1.66 to 400. Means in case of hydrogen, x is 1.66. In case of some other element, some other atom, it may be 80 or 180 for some other atom and so on. If we consider atomic weights of all the different atoms, we get such numbers. And in molecules, we may have thousands of atoms, and the molecular mass will be again a very, very huge number. And as you know, in chemistry, we do so many calculations. And doing calculations or making calculations with such numbers is a very difficult job. इस तरह की संख्याएं हैं, चाहे हम -24 लेके चले या डेसिमल 22 जीरो के बाद एक 6 लेके चले, इनसे मैथमेटिकल कैलकुलेशन करना एक बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट जॉब है, कॉम्प्लेक्स जॉब है, टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है, गलतियां बहुत ज्यादा होंगी इसमें. तो इससे बचने के लिए हम एटम्स का जो एटॉमिक मास है उसको दूसरे यूनिट में एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, एंड दैट यूनिट इज एटॉमिक मास यूनिट. एक ऐसा यूनिट जिसमें हम एटम्स का मास लेंगे, एटॉमिक मास यूनिट. सो लेट्स डिफाइन 1U or atomic mass unit. So 1U is equal to 1.66 10 to the minus 24 gram. कि जिस एटम का एटॉमिक वेट ग्राम में इतना है, AMU, जिसे आजकल हम U कहते हैं, U का मतलब क्या है? यूनिफाइड मास. AMU या U के अंदर 1 होगा. जिस एटम का एटॉमिक वेट ग्राम में इतना है, यूनिफाइड मास में उसका एटॉमिक वेट 1U होगा. So 1U is equal to this much in gram. And if we express atomic weights of all the atoms of all elements in U, we get atomic weights as simple numbers. Simple numbers, let's say like 2, 4, 50, 120 and so on. 2, 50, 120 and so on. These are the atomic weights. These are very simple numbers. So it is very easy to do calculations by using these numbers or by using atomic weight as 2U or 4U or 50U. So atomic weight may be defined as the average weight of an atom of an element as compared to 1U, which is basically equal to 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Now, generally, I have noticed students get confused or students are unable to differentiate between mass number and atomic mass. Mostly they think it is the same thing, but these two are entirely different. Let's see some differences. Mass number is not the atomic mass. It is just equal to sum of number of protons and neutrons in the atom. Atomic mass is the actual weight of an atom taken in U. Mass number has no units. Atomic weight is taken in AMU or U. Third, mass number is always a whole number. Atomic mass can be in points. For example, in case of chlorine, the atomic mass is 35.5. In case of chlorine, atomic mass is 35.5. So let me repeat. Mass number is not atomic mass. In atomic mass, we consider the mass of electrons also, total mass of the atom. For smaller atoms, in many cases, mass number may be equal to atomic mass, but for big atoms, atomic mass or the value of atomic mass is always more than the mass number. In my next lecture, I will discuss something regarding mole, which is very, very fundamental in chemistry, and students find it very hard to understand what is the meaning of mole. Of course, it is a very complex topic, but very, very useful. I hope you will like today's talk. Thanks. Good wishes.